Greetings and welcome back to the Casual Wargamer. We're almost to the completion of looking at the Grotmas detachments 2024. The penultimate one is for World Eaters. It's the Vessels of Wrath detachment. This is another one that in the comments on various social media platforms was like very divisive, I should say. There are, I think, more World Eaters players who really like this detachment, but there are those who have gone, it's pants, it's why would you use it, it's not very good. Personally, I think they're wrong. I think this is a very good detachment. I think it's quite strong. It's going to see play, I think. The only thing that I will note with it is actually within its detachment rule, which is a rather cool ability called Wrath of Khorne. And it says as follows. At the start of the battle round, after activating Blessings of Khorne, you can select one or more models from your army from those listed below. I'll come to that in a sec. Including those embarked on transport. So that's really good. So you can pick World Eater characters, but not epic heroes. 8-bound champion, Exalted 8-bound champion, Khorne Berserker champion, and World Eater Terminator champion. You can select one type of model multiple times. The maximum number of models you can select depends on the battle size, 2, 3, or 4, Incursion, Strike Force, Onslaught. And until the end of the battle round, each of those models has the Vessel of Wrath keyword. Then select one Blessing of Khorne not currently active for your army. Until the end of the battle round, that Blessing of Khorne is active for the Vessel of Wrath units in addition to any others that you have got. Okay, what I take from this is, this could be really, really good. This could be nasty on the table. But also, it seems to be quite thematic. This is not a detachment that's built around you taking the likes of Khan, Invocatus, or even Angron. This is about your cornate heroes, your non-epic heroes who are building up and becoming, champions in their own right. So you're not necessarily going to want to take the likes of Khan and others. Obviously you can. There's no issue that says you can't. But this seems to be about playing the little guys. And, so I think this would work really well in Crusade as well as other sort of narrative things. But it's kind of pushing you slightly to go, don't take the epic heroes, play everybody else, do something a bit different. And I think that's where a lot of players don't like it. Because they want to be taking their Angron, they want to be taking Khan, they want to be taking the cars. But actually, a change is as good as the rest, as they say. So taking away, epic heroes do get maligned for being used all the time. I don't know why, but they do. So this is one way of, still gaining the benefits of your army whilst not constantly throwing out the likes of your epic heroes. Anyway, I like the Wrath of Khorne detachment. Detachment rule, it's really, really nice. You have 4 enhancements, as always. You have the Arc Slaughterer for 25 points. You improve the AP of melee weapons equipped by 1, and if they are a Vessel of Wrath, it increases damage by 1 as well. Very nice. The Vox Diabolus for 20 points. Each time the bearer's unit destroys an enemy unit with a melee attack, roll a dice, adding 1 to the result if they are a Vessel of Wrath, and on a 4+, you gain a CP. World Eaters gaining CP, very, very nice. And unexpected, I should say, as well. The Avenger's Crown for 15 points. If the bearer is destroyed by a melee attack, if it has not fought this phase, roll a d6. On a 2+, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks and is then removed from play. So it's a fight on death. Nice. Always handy with something like Khorne. And Gateways to Glory, which is an interesting one, 10 points. So this can only be given to a demon, World Eaters, Demon Prince, or World Eaters mounted model only. Each time the bearer makes a normal, advance, or charge move, it can move horizontally through models and terrain features. When doing so, it can go within engagement range, but it cannot end a normal or advanced move with engagement range of them. And the little blurb on this is basically, they're cutting through reality with their axes and charging through and coming out the other side. Sounds a little bit too much like sorcery to me, but, it's cool. We'll let the World Eaters get away with it. Very, very nice. Then you've got your 6 stratagems. Now, bear with me as I go through these, because these are, again, very, very wordy in places. So you've got Aspire to Infamy. In the fight phase, one Khorne Berserkers or Jackals unit that has not been selected to fight this phase within 8 inches of one or more friendly world-eater character models. Till the end of the phase, improve the strength and AP with melee weapons equipped by non-character models in your unit by 1. Nice. Now, it says within 8 inches, so it does sort of give you the option to boost the unit that needs it, but I can also see this being used on the unit with the character, because there was some talk in the comments about, does the unit attached to a Wrath of Khorne, Vessel of Wrath unit gain the ability? And the general consensus was no, it's being given specifically to the character, nobody else. So you can use Aspire to Infamy. They might not get any benefit, but they will get a benefit, and the whole unit benefits. Hey, using benefits a lot there. So I like that as a stratagem. Then you get Overshadowed by None. In the fight phase, you target one World Eater's infantry, World Eater's mounted, or World Eater's demon prince that's not been selected to fight. To the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets a monster or vehicle, you can reroll the wound roll. That's nice. Gory Dedication. Fight phase, just after a World Eater's unit from your army has fought. If one or more enemy models are destroyed as a result of those attacks, that World Eater's unit gets to select one objective marker you control that unit is within range of, and that objective marker remains under your control until your opponent's level of control over that objective is greater than yours at the end of a phase. So it's basically the blood offering in the regular detachment. This is always good. World Eaters, I think, are one of those armies that sometimes struggle. They don't want to be sat on an objective. They want to be controlling it and running off and leaving it controlled. So that's always good. Then you get Punish the Craven, which I like. Your opponent's movement phase, just after an enemy unit, but not monsters or vehicles, is selected to fall back. One World Eater's infantry or demon prince from your army within engagement range of that unit. When they fall back, they must make a desperate escape test. When doing so, if your unit is a Vessel of Wrath, let's subtract 1 from each of those tests. So get one of those characters in there. If they try and fall back, you're going to get a chance to swipe them down before they've run. Very corny. Meet Force with Force. In your opponent's shooting phase, after an enemy unit has shot, you can select one World Eater's infantry, mounted, or demon prince from your army that lost 1 or more wounds as a result of this attack. And the effect is that your unit can make a Blood Surge move. So you roll d6. Models in the unit move a number of inches up to that result, but your unit must end that move as close as possible to the closest enemy, excluding aircraft. When doing so, those models can be moved within engagement range of that enemy unit. However, if your unit is a Khorne Berserkers or Vessel of Wrath unit, you can re-roll the d6 to determine how far you can move. So it's giving you the Blood Surge ability. Obviously, some of your units are already going to have this sort of built in, but for those that don't, this could be quite handy. And lastly, this one is a little bit awkward. They could have really worded it better. And I saw many discussions and arguments backwards and forwards how this works, but I think I've got it. It's called Brazen Contempt. In your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, you set one World Eater's unit from your army that was selected as a target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Now, this is the wording. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, if the strength characteristic of that attack is greater than the toughness characteristic of your unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll, or if it's a Vessel of Wrath unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll instead. So you sit there and you go, well, it's the same ability both times. However, the way I read it, and I think a number of other World Eaters players have read it, is that if you're not a Vessel of Wrath unit, and the strength is greater than your toughness, it gets -1 to wound. But if you are a Vessel of Wrath unit, it's -1 to wound anyway. So thus giving a boost to a Vessel of Wrath unit. That is your detachment for the day. This is Vessels of Wrath. I really like this. I don't know why so many World Eaters players seem to dislike it. I think it's probably just another case of you've got a detachment, it does this. It's all very similar. There's not a lot of difference. But actually, I think with this, you've got some nice abilities. It will play slightly differently, and if you don't have epic heroes, it's going to lack a certain amount of the punch, but it's going to make up for it in the Wrath of Khorne detachment rule. So all in all, I quite like this. I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's strong, and I personally don't see a problem with it. So what are your thoughts on the Vessels of Wrath? If you're a World Eaters player, what do you think? I can certainly see the few World Eater players I know locally will probably want to try this, and they'll probably do quite well with it. But what are your thoughts? Good, bad, yay, indifferent, don't like it? Let me know in the comments down below. Give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care and good gaming.